来るぞ。
Slock like is right. There you go.
Go big or go home, all my fellow and future outlaws. This is your in-ring rundown, and I am that NKK Double G. It's AEW's Double or Nothing here tonight, and I couldn't be a happier man. So who's gonna steal the show, and most importantly, are they gonna give me 10%? We buy our way into the buy-in, where I managed to catch the first match of the night. A stage complete with a slot machine to make all the middle-aged women lament their unsatisfied gambling addiction, as well as gamers in their 20s and 30s of playing Sonic 2 and Casino Night Zone of getting nothing but Robotnik spikes and losing all their rings. It's the Best Friends versus the Private Party, two teams that make me question my ties to reality because I just don't know who to root for. The winner of this match will gain a #1 contender opportunity against the current tag team champions Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. A few moments into the match though, our favorite compacted commentator goes off on a tangent talking about his favorite compacted fighter from Super Smash Bros.
Yeah, he's compact. His punches, his strikes, he's got compacted like a compacted striker. You know, to your point that he's a devastating striker.
Private Party showed they're still not a team to be messed with, making a sandwich out of Chuck E. T with a double knee shooting star press. As impressive as this may be though, the Best Friends pick up the win with a reverse double stomp pile driver that somehow just doesn't kill people instantly. Before the main show can begin though, we head to the ringside area where Tony Schiavone and Auntie Anderson are doing some breathing exercises.
Clear your mind for just a second.
Can someone tell me why he's just so goddamn good at being the epitome of both cool and corny as fuck? The main show begins with a roar of the tiny ass crowd and oh wait, shit guys, I found John Cena. Also for some reason Vicky Guerrero is here, but that doesn't matter too much because we get a close-up of these super rare, super custom mega monster cards of Brody and Moxley, with effect text so long that not even the king of games could try to understand how they actually work. It's time for the Casino Ladder match where 9 of AEW's most up-and-coming wrestlers will put their gambling addictions up against one another for this giant casino chip. A chip that has a 50% chance of granting you an AEW title shot. The other 50% is a contractually obligated date with Pineapple Pete. So yes, you are correct. It is a life-changing gamble. For some reason, Jimmy Havoc has become a super bad version of Woodhouse, donning a bloody tuxedo at all times so the cops won't be suspicious after he kills.
Ladders are in my blood.
If he's already aware of that condition, he may want to get some blood work done. He may find snakes. The first entrance of the match is Frankie Kazarian of SCU, whose music is interrupted by SCU. Wait, was that a mistake? Nope, turns out it's Scorpio Sky of SCU as well. That's awesome. They could do the smart thing and work together and just grab the chip now and ensuring that at least one of them will get a title shot, right? Right? Nah. Superbad Jonah Hill and Emma Stone make their way to the ring next as all of a sudden Jimmy Woodhouse sneaks up on the Best Friends with a ladder. While all this is going on, Jim Ross comes dangerously close to destroying the kayfabe honor of being a babyface entirely.
Those that are smart enough will break all the rules and know they can't be penalized for it.
Jimmy Havoc attempts to bully a best friend on top of the turnbuckle but ends up just hurting himself rather quickly. Either that or he could just be having fun in general. You never really know with him. Darby Allin Jackson bursts in as the next entrant, taking out everyone with hit and run attacks before magically forming a skateboard out of thin air and then breaking his leg as he falls off this ladder. Seriously man, that skateboard was not there 10 seconds before they did that. I refuse to believe it. Time stops for all of us as Orange Cassidy is the next entrant to make his way to the ring, showing us all his high wrestling IQ and strength of character by immediately going over to the announcer's desk and asking how to actually win this match. The mere thought of having to climb a ladder is a task so great that his limits are shattered. Cassidy finally breaks through his shell, reaching Ultra Instinct. Everyone is quickly laid to waste by this devastating power, but its form cannot be maintained for long as it drains Cassidy's body quickly as Colt Cabana comes out and takes advantage of the situation, taking advantage of the weakened Cassidy as well as the fact that everyone else has been pretty much knocked out for about a literal 5 minutes now. Both men tussle back and forth over the ladder, but instead of calling the hot action in the ring, the commentators are caught playing with the new AEW action figures.
The sunglasses didn't even move.
By design.
A bad boy appears and does bad boy things. A bad boy dive with a bad boy jive. A bad boy, never mind. You better believe your eyes because dinosaurs still walk this earth, motherfucker. Yes, the mighty Luchasaurus comes down to the ring to show us all how happy he is to have recently gotten married. So happy that he throws the super bad bouquet over the top of the ring for all the lovely bridesmaids to catch. Everyone except the now returning from injury Darby Allin, who actually lands a code red from the top rope on the dino. But that advantage doesn't last long as the mystery fighter is revealed. Has his new mania-filled devil, Brian Cage, who I think is from TNA? I think? I don't know, I don't watch crap. Either way, he immediately makes his mark by using an F10 on Darby, an F10 that JR called about 5 seconds after I wrote it down in my notes.
Fucking motherfucker!
Joey, you're supposed to let me set up the joke first before you just blurt out foul language like that. You fucking bad boy, you. Orange Cassidy climbs onto his father's back as they climb the mountain together, but everyone else is determined to drag them back down to camp. Beating the big man down to the mat, they decide the only way to take him out is to bury him under a pile of rubble for the remainder of the match. A plan so vital that even after losing his divine form, Orange Cassidy can be seen here doing some heavy lifting. How is no one else talking about that? Despite all his rage, Bryan is bound like a link in a sage, allowing everyone else to have the opportunity to seize this victory for themselves.
The best showing thus far.
Well, the chair of Frankie Kazarian just got the hot tag.
Pretty sure that was a ladder. Luchasaurus and Orange Cassidy have a chokeslam contest before someone lets this small child in the ring who really wants to play with them. Luckily, he's scared off when Brian Cage finally finishes recovering and bursts free from the pile of debris. Clashing with Luchasaurus in the middle of the ring in a battle that I genuinely fucking enjoyed, he manages to overcome the Jurassic One with a powerbomb onto the ladder. He is quickly interrupted by a Darby Allin who's doing his best to steal the match away. So Cage decides that the best course of action is to take an awkward amount of time setting up Darby Allin upon this ladder just to throw him into the other ladder outside the ring. With everyone else laid to waste though, the newcomer grabs the chip and claims his title opportunity on his debut. Which is something I'm totally fine with, I just can't help but wonder why he snacked on a urinal cake before the match began. The next match of the night is a straight up wrestling classic between two young up and comers. Who are they? Why, of course, it's Montel and Jungle Boy. He says he's just Lucha's toy. His hair isn't long enough to win. Right before the match begins though, MJF gives Jungle Boy directions to the nearest local zoo.
Jungle Boy down.
He's such a nice guy. MJF gets caught in a body scissors and acts like it's the most devastating move of all time, before both men decide to ignore gravity and fight each other upside down with punches that Shane McMahon would be proud of. Uh-oh though, MJF lands very weirdly and seems to have injured his leg. He's very accident prone like that. So accident prone that even his belief in this accident was an accident, taking advantage of Jungle Boy and dominating the majority of this contest. Both men meet in the middle of the ring and decide whether or not they just want to make out or cop a feel on each other one at a time. But MJF is sensitive, so his titties get sore very quickly, retaliating with what was basically a muscle buster and somehow not picking up the victory right there. Jungle Boy doesn't take kindly to this attempted murder and comes back at him with a signature move of his own, reverse attempted murder onto the apron, laying out MJF cold for what nearly ended up being the rest of the match. The rest of the match coming to us quickly with a truly badass back and forth sequence of chain wrestling and pin attempts before MJF finally steals the victory. Did anyone else notice that his theme music played immediately after he won that match? Like for real, it was less than a second. Holy doggy, it's time for the finals of the TNT Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Lance Archer. A new title belt being introduced by a very, very excited Mike Tyson. See, right there. Can't you tell how excited he is by his inability to make any other facial expression? Can't you tell? But no other facial expression other than a wide smiling mouth can describe me anytime I see a random guy get wrecked on the way to the ring during Lance Archer's entrance. That may be the single best entrance idea of all time. Please never stop doing it. Bryce Remsburg, he is a man without fear.
Instructions in the back. I don't give a shit. Bitch.
Lance begins the match by landing the blackout right away, but is unable to make a pin when the young Rhodes rolls to the outside. He makes his best attempt to try a flanking attack from the rope, but is promptly shoulder blocked in the next week by the feathered ISIS agent. Archer takes control of the bulk of this match as you may expect, but often makes the mistake of over-taunting the wrestlers in the crowd.
You know what? You better shut up, boy.
You may not know it, but that angry yelling was actually Big Swole using her chakra to seal Archer's fate here tonight with a powerful spell, which clearly takes effect immediately, leaving him open to more offense by the Cody Rhodes that I was actually expecting. A Cody that manages to get the big man down by sneaking in a crossface, but then lets go for some reason because Jake the Snake was on the apron not really doing anything, and then I'm not really sure why he let go. Regaining control, Archer goes for the same Iron Claw head slam that he took down his older brother with, but for some reason after about 3 uses of the move, he decides that this is just too much effort and goes back to taking a nap with Cody. Archer and Cody reach the top of the ropes after about 2 minutes of literal nothing, when the sneaky devil Auntie Arn comes up from behind and hits Archer and immediately hides like a kid who just threw something in the back of the bus. And because this is AEW and not elementary school, a small child like Rev makes his way from the back seat and tattles to the bus driver on Anderson, causing him to be thrown out from ringside alongside of Jake the Snake Roberts that really didn't put up much of a fight. Wait, never mind, here he comes back with a sack of goodies. I guess he just wanted to give everyone a gift before he left. Unfortunately, Mike Tyson is not allowing this act of kindness and blocks his way to the ring, leaving Archer without the protective spell that his old mage gave him, suffering 2 crossroads and a clean defeat by the Canadian Daydream. Tony Schiavone then says the one exact line that we hear after every single Cody Rhodes match.
It took not one, but 2 crossroads.
Britt Baker was unfortunately injured this week on AEW Dynamite, but luckily we have a doctor here to both explain her condition, tell us all what a role model she is, and then proceed to explain what a nightmare it's been to treat her as a patient. Nice. It's a strange alien from a galaxy far, far away versus a freshly waxed and buffed Toyota in the next match tonight. A Toyota joined by a Kip Sabian who already has a maximum amount of injuries, so he probably won't be very useful as a support role. Statlander shows her power by tossing around Penelope Ford around the ring as soon as the bell rings, but unfortunately she becomes too distracted by Kip Sabian's high-pitched whining whining and moaning as he struggles to walk, allowing Ford to take advantage when she commits serious Randy Orton copyright infringement, planting her head off the second rope into the mat. Look out! Kip Sabian's got a gun!
Love Philadelphia. What a great wrestling town.
Statlander, I seriously hate that name, regains control by throwing around her massiveness on both of the Superbad members that lay on the outside. Just as she's about to pick up the 3 count, though, Jim Ross utters a line that has never been spoken before.
What is Vicky Guerrero there? We need to know right now.
Ford does her best to beat Dana Brooke by going for one too many springboard moves, getting caught in the Big Bang Theory by the powerful alien and suffering defeat. Vicky Guerrero, she is not pleased. John Spears, he's the chairman. Why? No, really, do you know why? Because besides the one hit he did to Cody last year, he really hasn't done anything with that title, has he? Tony Schiavone, he is a professional commentator that understands the importance of timing.
Were you thinking that, Jared?
Well, no.
No, I didn't think so. Nice counter.
Spears grabs the mic and claims that Dustin is old and worn down and just needs to simply retire. That he was already destroyed at the hands of Lance Archer while his younger brother chose to do nothing to help. He coerced Aubrey into starting the 10 count and then immediately goes off on a tangent about the WrestleMania rematch between The Rock and John Cena.
No, one time, idiots! You play it one time, hey!
Dustin appears miraculously with a vengeance, destroying Spears left and right as he progressively loses more clothing. Unfortunately for Sean Spears, though, he is learning that unlike Nikki Cross, he is unable to increase his power level by simply stripping, and is left completely exposed to the rest of the world. Those are some nice boxers. Dustin brings Spears back into the middle of the ring without hesitation, landing the Day of Reckoning in the middle of the ring and picking up the win over the now not so well dressed Sean Spears. Bow to the beast or get knocked the fuck out by a kendo stick, because it's time for the AEW Women's Championship match here tonight on Double or Nothing. A match that Tony Schiavone just can't pay attention to because he's just way too distracted by the giant slot machine. Rose does weather the early storm of Shida, blocking her kendo strikes before tossing her out into the barricade. Not only is Nyla Rose a top level performer, but she agreed to help me with my gambling addiction.
You ever play roulette?
On occasion.
Let me give you a word of advice.
Always bet on black!
Shida manages to take control of this match far more than anyone actually expected, even setting up Nyla for a falcon knee into the giant poker chip, while way more people in the crowd than probably should be there watching are there watching. Shida proves time and time again that you just do not take her precious kendo stick away from her, mostly dominating the rest of this match with moves like a brainbuster on top of the stick itself, and even an avalanche falcon arrow off the top rope, delivering the finishing blows with a massive kendo strike to the side of Nyla's head, followed by the Shining Wizard, the Walking King of Fighters advertisement, becomes your AEW Women's Champion, all while leaving me in a confusing combination of kinda turned on and massively scared. It's the first of 2 main events here tonight, that of course being the AEW Championship match between Doppel Vince and Dean Ambrose Neo X. Moxley is trying to make his way to the ring, but sees a really big spider in the corner and just can't help but look away.
Always making his own way to the ring.
John begins the match by jumping on the large-sized bro named Lee, but this frantic style will only leave us all with a series of lovely John Moxley pain faces as he replies with a series of suplexes as well as a pump handle fall-away slam into the Iron Gate. Moxley seizes an opening with a brutal clothesline pile driver combination, even picking up a 2 count over the hairy behemoth. And while this hot action is going on in the ring, JR decides that this is the best time to teach the audience his signature trump card pickup line anytime he finds himself stuck at last call.
Bruising is going to happen. The major understatement of the night. Bruising is going to happen.
Moxley heads to the outside of the ring to remind us all that any match he has is contractually obligated to be at least 20% no DQ. Moving around the steel steps in a setup to break the leader of the Dark Order. We're then treated to an audio clip of the crowd members saying what every friend or family member who knows me in person has said to themselves at least once in their life.
Nick.
Brody Lee tosses Moxley all around the ring and then finally into the massive deck of cards that lay near the ramp, which pisses me off greatly because I was really hoping to send that one in to get graded, and now it's definitely not going to get a PSA 10. Moxley remembers that he hid a present under the ramp for Brody and really wants to show it to him up close and personal, slamming them both through the ramp as the crew scatters about wondering if the match is going to continue. Continue as it does briefly, as after 2 paradigm shifts, Moxley channels the power of the hot rod and puts the beast to bed with a sleeper hold of all things. Oh sweet, some awesome new action figures. I want one. Not that one though. That one just seems off. Hold on to your face mask, my fellow outlaws, because it's time for the Stadium Smash Bros match between the Inner Circle and the Elite. A match that proves once and for all that football would actually be entertaining to watch if they did more shit like this.
Well, this is natural turf, okay?
Thanks, Tony. That's helpful. Hangman Page seemed to be missing when the match began, but we finally learn it's because he was busy trying to remember the opponent's song and just couldn't get the horse to calm down any other way. Hangman chases Sammy off into the other side of the stadium, eventually getting bored and taking a nice break at this local watering hole. Everyone brawls for a little while before Sammy finally makes his way back to assess the situation. He determines that the best course of action is to do a shooting star press off the top rope and to no one but his teammates. I'm not really sure where this ladder came from, but this young deer seems to be climbing up on top of it to reach the top of the goalpost. Reaching the goalpost in an effort to land a moonsault upon the Jericho and actually scoring a 2 count. Jim Ross and Excalibur are doing their best to commentate this match, but unfortunately have to pick up the slack because Tony Schiavone is just having too much fun playing Streets of Rage 4.
Look at this! Fist of fire!
We head back to the stands where Santana and Ortiz are doing their best to subdue the Angelic One Kenny Omega for a slam onto the steel gate. Showing off their recent training and level ups, they revealed the new move they just recently learned.
Concrete and
Blinding sand attack! Accuracy took a hit.
Broken Matt Hardy appears to save his friend from damnation when...
There's the pool!
Tony, I told you like 10 times already, when I'm finished with work, we'll go swimming. Just when you think Proud and Powerful have the advantage by attempting to drown the Broken One in the pool, he awakens in a new form upon every resurfacing, finally leading to his most powerful form of all, Dr. Matt Hardy. Treating Santana and Ortiz injuries with a prescription of being taped to a chair while being slapped, as well as being locked into a case full of ice.
This will help your inflammation.
I can literally not even satirize that. Catching back up with Hager and Hangman, they seem to be enjoying a nice glass of whiskey together at their local bar. But Hager makes the mistake of asking Hangman where he can get himself a pair of assless chaps, starting a brawl between them immediately. Hits him with a pull stick, hits him with a glass bottle, hits him with a glass bottle, hits him with a glass bottle. So just why won't Hager go down? Hager uses rock bottom. We head back to the field where Jericho's face is dangerously close to being put in front of what he believes is a high-def camera, and he can just not allow that high level of detail to be seen. Luckily, a few moments later, the pills finally kick in. Jericho finds his one true love, Floyd, and lays down Nick Jackson with a sound strike, nearly picking up a 3 count. A 3 count that he refuses to believe was not achieved, as he berates Young Turks broadcaster Anna Kasparian so much that they must go into the tent for a replay. Now you may not know it, but it was later found out that this was all a clever laid out plan for them to catch a quickie mid-match. Rick Knox gives one of the Young Bucks a penalty for being shitty and ruining the super kick as a finisher, right before running off the railing into a splash onto Jericho that I'm quite confident turned him very purple. Hangman Page appears with the field line maker and runs directly over Jericho's face as he does his travels, but unfortunately forgets to go back and finish writing NWO on his back. Only one member of the inner circle remains conscious, Sammy Guevara, who can be seen here slowly crawling in his skin towards the middle of the field. Unfortunately, these sprinklers will not heal as his nightmare cometh trueth once more as Matt Hardy appears with a golf cart chasing him down the field. Fleeing as best he can, he is finally caught in the sand by Kenny Omega, who decides to be a true one-winged angel, jumping off the balcony and sending Sammy into the mass of solid cardboard below.
Matt Hardy's almost orgasmic.
Oh, he's not the only one. Well, that's it for this week's episode of The Rundown. I want to thank you all for watching. Be sure to hit that like, that sub, that bell, and leave a comment telling me how many stupid faces I made during this video. Tune in next week where I have absolutely no production value because I gambled away all my material possessions at a single game of Chutes and Ladders. And of course, a shout out to all my patrons. We're at 25 strong now, and I honestly, I couldn't thank you guys enough for that kind of support, man. I really do appreciate it. I will, however, not support you in your dream to own a restaurant. And this week's patrons highlight goes out to Double Will J, or more specifically, accessallareasonline.wordpress.com. I just met this chill as fuck gentleman recently, and he said he's striving to be a journalist, so check out his site right there if you'd like. The focus revolves around an entertainment-based website with content suiting a wide variety of topics, covering news articles and reviews covering subjects such as wrestling, of course, gaming, comics, film, and I'm pretty sure plenty more in the future. I'll put his link in the description down below as well, so show ya boy some love. This has been the man for us with all the girth, ladies and gentlemen. Be the character you know you're worth. Delivering the finishing blows with a massive blow to the head with a candlestick. MJF gets Katsuna. As impressive as allowing Ford to take advantage which holy shit. Everyone is quickly laid to waste by this holy shit. Either way, he immediately makes his mark by doing an F10 onto a dart. John Cease's so Cage decides that the best course of action is to take this awkward amount of time to set up Matt Hardy appears to save his comrade from Really? Retaliating with fuck that. Do you see that fucking spider?